Hey, how's it going? Chuck the Contractor here, and today we are talking again about HomeAdvisor and Angie's List and all of these lead reselling companies, as I like to call them. And this is a popular topic because this is like one of the most common questions I get asked is, well, should I use HomeAdvisor or should I use Angie's List? And I think the best way to kind of answer that question is just to tell my own story of being a contractor and using these services and what my experience was like. So first of all, at my family's remodeling company, Kyle Construction or NL Kyle Construction, we used HomeAdvisor and Angie's List for like 10 years. And 15 years ago, it was awesome. We would get tons of leads. A lead being somebody who was looking for a remodel. We'd get their contact information emailed to us, and then we'd call them, and most of them answered the phone, and a lot of them turned into projects. And I think we were paying like, I don't know, $5, $10, $15 a lead. So, we were spending less than $100 per job we were getting, which is great because most of our jobs profit in the thousands. So, if you ask me at any time in my life, if I would spend $100 to make 1,000, I'd say, hell yeah. And so we did that for years. And what happened is over time, the leads kept getting more and more expensive. It was 15 a long time ago, then it was 20, 25, 30. I think at one point we were paying even $45 per lead. And on the flip side, these leads, we were getting people's name and their phone number, but when we called, no one would answer. Or we would call or look up their number and find out that it was actually another contracting company that had put in their information and that we had purchased from HomeAdvisor. Eventually, it became clear that there was multiple contractors calling these people at the same time. And I even got in touch with somebody at Angie's List, some director of marketing or some kind of C-suite level higher up, and asked her, what the heck's going on? Why does it seem like there's so many people calling? It's almost like you're selling this contact information to multiple people. And she said, yeah, that's what we do. They sell it to up to six different contractors at the same time. So let's say that you buy someone's contact information for $20. Well, they sell it to 5 other companies for $20. So they made $120 off of this one person's contact information. And a lot of times those people aren't even ready to talk to anybody. And to further illustrate why this kind of stuff happens, why you hear so many complaints about these leads being bad or HomeAdvisor being a scam, it's just go to Google and type in HomeAdvisor reviews, and you'll see almost every contractor that leaves a review is calling it a scam. And here's why. So let's just go to Google, because over 90% of people are using Google these days. It's like 95%. So if I was a homeowner and I was searching for a remodel contractor in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that's where I live, I would go to Google and I'd type that in. And what do I see? What is Google showing me? Well, the first 2 things that we see up here are ads. So these 2 websites are paying Google to be here at the top. And it's pretty expensive. They pay per click, and it could be anywhere from $10 to over $100 per click, depending on how competitive it is. And who do we have here? We've got HomeAdvisor and we've got Angie's List. And if you've been paying attention, HomeAdvisor is owned by Angie's List now officially, but both of these companies have been owned by the same parent company forever. It's been a long time. So if you fill out a form on Angie's List as a homeowner, your contact information will be sold to contractors on HomeAdvisor. Pretty weird, right? You wouldn't expect that. That isn't explicitly stated. So we've got 2 lead reselling middlemen, companies here. What do we have below that? Below that, we've got Google Maps. Okay, so Google Maps is based on location, so it's only going to show me companies in my area. And that's why you've got 3 actual contractors showing up here. One of them is us. This is our second location listing. And below the Google Maps, we've got the regular search results. And not to pat my own back, but there we are right at the top. That's why we get so many calls. But who else do we see on here? We've got House. They're selling leads. We've got Better Business Bureau. They sell leads. We've got Yelp. They sell leads. Angie's List, again, of course we know they sell leads. We've got Porch selling leads, and we've got Thumbtack selling leads, okay? Oh, and BuildZoom, they are kind of close to the lead selling thing as well. And then here at the bottom, we've got an actual construction company. So of these 10 websites listed right here, only 2 of them are actual construction companies. The rest of them are these companies that are only trying to collect people's contact information so they can sell it to contractors like us. They don't add hardly any value, and there's really no point to these websites anymore. The only reason they exist is because they've figured out how to show up on the first page of Google before all the real companies and slide in there, collect that contact info, and then sell it to people like us. So I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't know if you could tell, but I just think that these companies add almost zero value. And the only benefit for a contractor is that it's super easy to set up. You just create an account, put your your credit card information in there, and they'll start sending you leads. So, I mean, it could be a really good thing if you get lucky and you get some good leads and you actually close some projects out of it. But I also run a marketing company. It's called Adapt Digital Solutions. We serve clients throughout the country, and we have many clients that use HomeAdvisor as part of their lead generation strategy. And of those people, roughly 1 in 7 of these leads ever actually turns into a phone call. That means if one of my clients buys 7 leads from HomeAdvisor, they'll only talk to one person. 6 of them won't answer their phone, or they won't be interested anymore. It's just a dud. So that's one thing. The other thing is what I stated already. These companies just have a monopoly on the first page of Google, and that's why they can get away with offering such little value and still taking a pretty sizable cut. So back to my story. How did we manage to stop using HomeAdvisor? Well, originally we stopped because we had built ourselves a website, and that website showed up on Google, just like I showed you, and it brought us tons of phone calls. Because when somebody Googles for a remodel contractor in my area, a lot of people avoid HomeAdvisor and Angie's List. A lot of people had bad experiences, whatever. They're looking for real companies, so they go to Google Maps first because these are real companies. You can read reviews, you can go to people's websites, and then they go below that and they look for actual websites. So since ours is showing up first in this list, we get tons of people finding it, and so we get tons of phone calls. We don't have to buy leads from HomeAdvisor and Angie's List because we're beating them at their own game. Angie's List and HomeAdvisor, they show up here at the top because they're paying for that. If I wanted to, I could show up at the top there as well, and I'd be showing up in 3 places on this page. We'd absolutely be crushing them. So that's an edge that you have on these big lead reselling companies, is your location. They can't show up in this Google Maps box right here. Oops, let me make sure you can see this. They can't show up in this Google Maps box because they're not in your location. So your number 1 priority should be showing up here. Besides that, it's not too difficult to beat them down in this list down here because you're just more relevant. And that's what Google wants. Google wants to show the best search results. The reason that all these lame-ass lead reselling companies are showing up here on the first page is because there's not enough contractors in my area who figured out how to get their website to show up on Google, which if you're interested in that, it's a service that my company offers. And I'm not trying to peddle that, but a lot of people watch these videos and they don't realize what we do and why I'm even talking about this stuff. I'm talking about this stuff because this is what we help clients with. This is where all my experience lies, and this is what we do on a daily basis. My team is the best in this industry. We are the best at helping contracting companies and any kind of local service businesses, but we mainly work with construction. So the last thing I want to leave you with is this. Why are so many of these people, how is it that we're buying so many people's contact information and they're not answering the phones? Like, what's up with that? Let's just click on HomeAdvisor and see. Like, okay, if I'm a homeowner, I go here, I'm looking for contractors. HomeAdvisor is the first thing that pops up. So I might click on that expecting to find a construction company, right? But that's not what I find. See, I find a form. That's all that's here is just a form. So I have to put in my zip code, and then I have to put in what kind of job I'm looking for, and then I have to put in my address and my phone number and all that kind of stuff before I'm ever able to see what I'm looking for. And by the time I get to see what I'm looking for, my contact information is immediately being sold to 6 different contractors. So this is why. Nowhere on this page does it state, hey, when you fill out this form, your contact information is going to be sold for a profit. And there's going to be 6 different contracting companies calling you within 10 minutes because they're so desperate to get on the phone with you because they're so used to calling people and never getting a response. So, think about it. If you're using these services now, like, is this really where you want to be? Or, I'm not saying don't use them. Like I said, a lot of my clients, they use HomeAdvisor and Angie's List, but it's only a small part of their strategy. They get the majority of their new customers from Google, from referrals, from Google Maps, from Google Ads, from Facebook ads, from all these mediums that they control. It's only for the auxiliary backup, extra leads to keep their sales team busy that they turn to HomeAdvisor. And it's debatable whether or not it's profitable. We have to do a lot of math to figure out if these things are profitable or not. So, I hope that story is helpful for you. We stopped using them about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a huge pain in the butt. They have horrible customer service, but I'm not going to go into that. We stopped using them a long time ago. We've never been busier. We get more leads now than we ever did using them, and it's because we figured out how to show up on Google. So if you're interested in showing up on Google and not having to rely on these blood-sucking lead reselling middlemen, then hang around my YouTube channel, watch the other YouTube videos I have. We have a private Facebook group where we're more than happy to answer your questions and help you out with that. And if you're at the point where you're either working with a marketing company that you're not happy with, or you are ready to work with a marketing company and let my team take care of this stuff for you, feel free to reach out. I'll leave the link to my website in the description of this video. So if you like this, I would love to hear from you in the comments, and best of luck to you.